I'm Mishka and welcome back to my channel. So, we are back with Our Life Now and Forever demo. Okay, so I haven't been on this game in like 2 months. I don't know, feels like a year. But last episode we finished the prologue or step 1 or something. I don't even know. I don't remember anything. It's been kind of a while since I've been on my channel. So if you guys have not seen the community post where I asked you what games do you guys want me to play and what series you want me to continue as of right now. The last time I checked, it was a tie between Our Life Now and Forever, and then Baxter's route for Our Life, beginnings and always, or I don't even know, but and then it was close with Cinema Phenomenon, and then someone or two people wanted I'm assuming it's Genshin, but yeah. So we are continuing with this today, and yeah, I am very excited to be back. So before we get started, make sure to subscribe button and share this video with your friends so they can find out about my amazing channel just like I have right now. So yeah, let's get into it. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so yeah, we're doing step 1 moment. And this is the first moment, and it's called walks. Oh, oops. Walks. Yes, begin the moment. Oh, can we change? Oh, sure. Let's give her a new look. Oh, that's cute. Definitely quiet. I'm just kind of focusing right now. Alright, here we go. It was Saturday, one of the 2 days in the week when there was no school at all. That was too bad. You were excited for Monday already. You'd had lunch at home with Mama a little bit ago, when she tackled the after meal cleaning up. Your Mama encouraged you to go outside while the weather was good. There was only a 70% chance of rain, she told you. And then she ran on to ramble about how it seemed in this town anything over 20% was essentially a guarantee of at least some drizzling. The talk about weather had gone on for another minute before she remembered you were standing there listening. Mama urged you again to leave her to the dishes and go enjoy the weekend. It was under those circumstances that Mr. Chulin had gathered both yourself and Tamarack Buman in the center of the cul-de-sac for a neighborhood meeting. He had something he wanted to ask. Do you have bikes? No. She came up with a reply immediately. What? Chu's shouted reaction was even more instant somehow. His brain hadn't been prepared for anything other than a yes. How do you live without a bike? Like this. The golden-haired girl did a little joke to show how great she was at living with no bike. She tapped her toes and waved her hands in the air. Chu leaned his face away from the show. Alright, okay. What about something else? Anything with wheels? Just like that, her limbs flopped down again. Tamarack squished her lips from one side of her face to the other, thinking, I've got a scooter for my mom and dad in one of the closets. That works. Chu rolled with the change in expectations, then he glanced at you. Sharky? Oh god, I'm cringing. You lowered your eyes shyly to the tarmac. You did have something, you just couldn't open your mouth to talk about it. Chu stuck a finger to his chin in consideration. This conversation continued to go more roughly than he'd been imagining. You can't go riding around if you don't have anything to ride. Tamarack's hand shot up once again, but this time it was to volunteer. You should ride on my scooter. There's room. I can push both of us. Oh, right. Or you can ride on my bike. But you can't tell my parents. They'd say that's not safe and yeah. Chew waved his hand in a loop. It had the same impact as rolling his eyes. I do have an old helmet you can borrow. It probably would be bad if you rode with somebody who didn't even have that. Page 2. What? Riding a Chew's bike. You could die of happiness. Don't. I kind of like. You sidled up to Chew wanting to ride with him. I feel like her, like the character, like me or whatever. Yeah. I feel like she is like at first very outgoing, but then when it comes to Chew, she starts to get nervous and not really say much anymore. Maybe. I don't know. But I kind of want to go in that direction a little bit where she's not as bold with him. But everything else, she's fine with it. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a ton of fun. You're gonna love riding my bike. It's great, and I'm good at riding. You don't have to worry about anything. Well, don't forget, it was my idea first, and if the bike is too shaky, you can come with me instead. Oh, Tamarack. She huffed. Tamarack never appreciated feeling as if she'd lost. Finally, Chew revealed the reason he'd been so keen on all this wheel talk. You know, I'm meeting with the club today. Oh. Choose a boys club, or boys club. Whatever they decided to call it. Him and those two older kids. Darren the funny boy and the one you weren't sure about. I want you to hang out too. Aw, this could be our Attempting an extra complicated word did not work out. He tripped over his own tongue, but Chew bounced back quick before anyone could ask about it or correct him. The first time we officially get together with our brand new member. And Tamarack too. I thought we could go on a ride together and everybody would like it. Chew scratched the back of his hand with his left hand. Was Tamarack the only kid in Oregon who didn't have a bike? You did, and Chew did, and his friends must have too, so maybe? It'll be okay if we go on foot. We've still got the whole afternoon, the whole group. I don't want to go to the stinky town, sorry. Golden Grove, the stinky town, got a stunned chuckle from Chew, but Tamarack was totally serious. Why can't we ride things in the neighborhood? 'Cause we live here? We always stay in the neighborhood. It'd be cool to leave while we can. I bet even you'd like where we go because it's a park. There's plenty of trees and stuff around. Have you seen that, huh? It's on the opposite side of town from us, back where the high school is. The park is the best place to ride for speed and tricks. There's no cars or hills. But just walking around is good too. Tamarack narrowed her eyes in silence. That itself was an obvious answer to Chew's question. She had not seen the park. Wait, you did. So did Chew. The neighbor on the right was thinking hard. Then she let out a sharp gasp as if she hopped into the air like a tire popping. Is that the special thing? Whoa. Laughing and shaking his head, Chew barely managed to give Tamarack a straight answer. No, it's not the park. That thing is totally in the forest. His snickers and voice got quieter the more they went on until you could hardly hear him. I didn't remember I said that. I should have written it down before school. After the total swerve Tamarack had managed to pull, Chew took control over the situation again. Yeah, I could show you that if you want to do it. It took a few seconds for you to remember what that whole thing was about, but you put it together. Chew was totally unfazed by your reaction. He was too committed and going on with his own explanations. The rest of the club would come with us too. We'd have to go up on riding through town and seeing the park though. For someone talking about not doing what he wanted to do, Chew's voice was light and carefree. Okay, I want to do this special thing. Cool. You know, there's more days than today. There's time to do everything we want. Sharky, your sorcerer magic is at work again. Sticking his hands on his hips, Chew leaned towards you. The smile decorating his face was way too big to come across as nonchalant as he made his voice. All we gotta do is make this work. is to promise to hang out again. We can go to one place this time, and next time we'll do the other thing. Everybody will get everything, and nobody will miss out on anything cool. Ah, that fixes it. It looked like Tamarack wasn't committed to playing with the boys' club after all. She just agreed to spend 2 weekend days doing so without blinking. In fact, she was super perky about it. The roundabout trip of words Chu laid out had taken Tamarack from a point of complete disinterest to feeling like boys' club activities were pure genius. At some point, Chu had shifted his hands behind his back. He kept that wide, I can't believe it's all coming together grin as he popped up and down the balls of his feet. The thing was, Tamarack would have gotten over that without Chu's fancy footwork. You were certain of it. He didn't need to try that hard. Chu was crazily over the top with how he got along with people, but Tamarack was extra straightforward. Mishka, you're the tiebreaker. I want to see the special thing, and Chu wanted to do the other thing. Yeah, we need you to vote. Baxter and Darren don't know the plan, and anyways, they're not going to care if it's riding or to the park or going to that forest place, especially if we're going to do them both on different days. What do you think? He asked with great eagerness. This was the final step of the perfect path Chu had laid out. Though, why wouldn't you? Chu and Tamarack were the people you wanted to be around. Let's go to the park today. Yeah, we should go to the park today in this special place another time. Oh, okay, never mind. We're going to the special place then. Alright. A successful resolution was reached. Chu looked ready to do a victory lap around the cul-de-sac. Woo! And Tamarack was ready to follow him. Or, considering it was Tamarack, she was ready to turn it into a race and win the victory lap somehow. It's a promise. It was. You and your friends had a promise. Oh. He started suddenly from a thought in his own head, eyes opening wide. We're not going riding. I gotta call the guys so they don't bring bikes. Be back in a second. Chu gave a thumbs up and dashed away before anybody could say anything about it. Your eyes followed his trail of footfalls like they were sparks from a lone firework shooting off. Chu shut his house's door behind him, and the neighborhood went completely silent. A realization came to you, too, in Chu's wake. You were leaving the neighborhood, and your mama always wanted to know when that happened. Well, too bad for her. It took a long time of standing there, probably 10 minutes before Chu came back. Eventually, though, he brushed through the wide door, yelling ahead of himself. He must have agreed that it took forever because he wasn't wasting even a second then. It's all good. When Autumn arrived at the center of the cul-de-sac, he wiped his forehead with a gloved hand, then talked some more. Everybody ready? Yes. Tamarack's voice was low and serious. I am very ready. I'm ready too. And so you and your two neighbors set out for places unknown. Well, unknown to most of you. The first leg of the journey took you down the hilly road. It was the only path out of your neighborhood. You had to follow it even to get to a super secret location. Oh, this is so cute! Oh, Golden Grove. Oh, I love this game. It's so cool. Your small group marched along until you'd arrived at the heart of town. You had to crane your neck to take in the full view of the swirling arch marked Golden Grove. It towered over Main Street and all the people in it. You kept going down the road, intending to pass under the sign, but Chu urged you to come over to the sidewalk. What a disappointment. That was the first time you'd gotten to go around town just for fun, and because you could. You had to pass through part of Golden Grove on the way to school, but you'd never been on the main street. Tamarack silently came up to your side. She made a squashed face out of sight of the local boy, conveying that she for sure still didn't like the stinky town. She was being silly. The town looked super nice. Chu couldn't stay out of even a wordless exchange for long. He began to list out what exactly the buildings were. You know, in case you or Tamarack couldn't tell by looking or reading the signs. There's a barber store, clothing place, a library, an antique shop, thrift store. At that, he paused the bullet points to fit in a sly joke. Though, not like you can tell the difference between those two. They're both selling old junk no one wants anymore. Chew and Tamarack snickered together. Not even Golden Grove itself was safe from Chew's teasing ways. My Omi loves antique shops and thrift stores. Yeah, she does. Oh, and down there on the corner is the corner store. You've never been in, right? It's a great place. Tons of stuff, and it usually only costs a few dollars or less. I've got to say something about it, but let's wait for the club. And that's what he did. Chew zipped his lips and folded his arms. You guess he wasn't tired of keeping people in suspense, even if he was revealing one mystery. Tamarack let out a sputtery, puttery breath and slumped against the brick wall behind you. Okay, we can wait again. You, Tamarack, and Chew held down the meetup spot. Random adults passed by every once in a while. A lot of them said hello to Chew. They knew him. Tamarack said hi to all of them. She didn't know those people. It took even longer than it did for Chew to make those calls. But then Tamarack flung her arm towards the other side of the street. She sounded the alarm and brought an end to the watch. There! You followed her guideline. A pair of figures were speeding around a corner. Woo! Darren, Baxter. Chew sprang to the curb of the sidewalk. He waved the two over with both arms. The missing members of his club joined the group, settling exactly into place at Chew's sides like the gloves he wore in each hand. Hi. Hey. Darren beamed at Chew's enthusiasm for a second. It faded fast when he glanced at who else was there. Looking was all he did, though. Whatever. I'm so sick of Darren. He's so annoying. He wasn't going to point out the obvious again. Darren had resigned himself to hanging out with more than the usual boys-only trio. That was better than being loudly against it. Baxter's expression wasn't exactly happy either, even though he was smiling. That's 'cause a smirk didn't count as being friendly. Hi. This is weird. And Tamarack's greeting was exactly the same as the ones given to the total strangers who happened to cross her path. This was the first time you'd all gotten together to do something, and it sure was obvious. Alright, people, we're here. We know the plan. Special place. Tamarack whispered those two words into her scarf, anticipation sharpening the tone. Yeah, but before we leave town, let's get supplies. The corner shop is right there. So that's what he'd meant before. Chew had been planning a detour to the store. Don't go into the woods unprepared, because the things in the woods are prepared for you. Exactly. Chew could count on his club following his lead and instead looked to the potential source of disagreement, his neighbors. Come on, we can pick out some stuff. It's going to be great. Tamarack's eyes narrowed, almost like Chew'd given her a dare. And she was going to be it, God. And then she went in for her messenger bag. From its depths, Tamarack revealed a plastic bag jam-packed with cashews, and it wasn't a snack-sized baggie. It was a sandwich-sized one. I've already got food. This isn't even all. I didn't have to pay for anything. Darren brought a hand to his face, astounded. Chew scratched his head at a loss. Baxter couldn't care less. He was not involved in the happenings. She actually is prepared. Huh, yeah, I guess you don't have to do that. Your neighbors being on the same page about the plan hadn't lasted long. Chew liked to ride places. Tamarack would rather walk. Tamarack could bring her own treats. Chew preferred to buy snacks on the way. They lived on opposite sides of the cul-de-sac and lived opposite lives, and you were in the middle of it. Me, Darren, and Baxter have still got a stock up. Sharky too, maybe, and it's fun to look around, you know. Tamarack crammed her bag of cashews into her bigger pack once more. Her face of pride had fallen into a frown. Fine, but after that, we have to go to the special place. Thanks. Sharky, let's get it over with. Oh, she's not. Awesome. She's not happy. The now complete group's first order of business commenced. You crowded your way through the door at the end of the sidewalk. Having to exist on a single corner really didn't allow for much space for the store part of the corner store. The entire place was probably smaller than your classroom. It was warmer inside and the air was stiller. Wooden panels covered the ground, thick wood beams crossed ceilings, and shelves tightly packed with familiar snacks were fitted in wherever possible. Instead of being inside an extra small shop, it was more like being inside a gigantic treasure chest. You took stock of your surroundings. The owners hadn't wasted room on boring stuff. Your eager steps clattered against the hard floor, drowning out the slight hum coming from the fridge in the back. Nearby, Tamarack switched her head this way and that to grasp everything in the new environment as rapidly as possible. On one twist, her eyes met with yours. She didn't keep going from there. Tamarack continued to look at you. She grinned. It was easy for you to know what was on Tamarack's mind. You and her were the same again. It was both of your first times being in this place. After everything you'd already done, you were still newcomers in this town. Meanwhile, Chu and his crew moved into the store as if it was their own living room. They navigated to the chip and cracker aisle without a thought. Left to confront the hundreds or thousands of things there to be bought, you unconsciously patted the pockets of your clothes. All your money was at home. Thoughts on your personal savings were interrupted when your ears caught onto a particular conversation. The trio of boys had started chatting about something while wandering the aisles. Who did it before? I don't remember. I can do it. That solution did not satisfy Mr. Chulin. He groaned dramatically. You're probably the one who handled it last time. You don't remember that? Remember? I know that much. Who was before the last time, me or you? Chu definitely jabbed a finger to Darren's shoulder. Baxter was out of the equation for whatever that was, maybe them paying. It's been a while since then. It could have been either of us. Refusing to accept a situation so obvious he could see it from a distance, Baxter offered another suggestion. Hey, we could play rock, paper, scissors. Though he knew what he was doing, every inch of Baxter's face and note of his voice expressed amusement. It wasn't only Autumn who was unimpressed then. Darren and Chu heaved sighs in unison, dipping their heads low before smiling playfully at one another. You know, that is a good idea, right, Darren? Yeah, it'll settle this perfectly. The tallest of the group pulled himself up higher. Ready to test your luck, Autumn? Nah, I don't need luck. It's rock, paper, scissors. And then you heard something different. It was Tamarack speaking specifically to you, but loud enough that it could be heard halfway across the store. What are they talking about? Each boy in the club turned to stare back at her, and the person next to her, you. Darren stuck his hands into the pockets of his vest and did that thing where he retracted his neck inward so he didn't have to face people all the way. We're figuring out whose turn it is to buy food. Instead of everybody buying a snack for themselves, our club takes turns having one person get all the supplies for the whole group to share. Why? Her big eyes were clear of any taunting. It honestly didn't make sense in Tamarack's mind. You pay a lot sometimes or pay a little every time. That's not going to make it different. It's less boring. Oh. That simple line had actually kind of convinced her of the concept. For once, Baxter's contribution was accepted easily. Tamarack didn't have an interest in teasing him, and anything Baxter might have been up to disinterest her beyond its face value. Right, this makes things fun. Fun or not, how much pocket money did those boys have? You couldn't afford a single gumball. This is gonna be funny, probably. And it's okay if you and Tamarack want to eat from the pile too. We almost never finish it anyway. Thanks, I'll share my stuff too. Awesome. Chu breezily came back around to the original point. Let's get it out of the way. He leaned his way onto one foot, stuck out a hip, and leveled a glance at his club. Winner gets to be the snack king, and the snack king has to pay. Darren and Baxter both nodded, though only one of them did it with any concern for the possibility. Darren was the worrier. Rock, paper, scissors. The trio of boys chanted the three words, bouncing their fists to the beat. On the final point, they each made their move. Chu and Darren had thrown down paper. Baxter was rock. He was the sole loser, which in that case was a win. He wouldn't have to buy the snacks. Okay, Baxter, get out. Fine. Baxter lifted his hands in defeat, eyes closed. For a second, it seemed like he would take his bow without any smuggy business except, that was nice of you. He had one last line, given with a sneaky smirk. While you understood Baxter was being snooty, you didn't get exactly how. Chu could only shake his head. I figure you should know since you're going to be living here from now on. Baxter only uses rock. What? Tamarack went from dead silent to releasing a high-pitched yelp. The volume was loud enough to cover the entire store that time. Yep, he's never picked anything else in his whole life, I'm pretty sure. He hasn't for as long as I know him, which is like 2 years. You stare completely confused. Unbelievable, huh? His eyes squinted along the bottom edge from the nervous smile that pulled at his lips. Baxter is kind of diabolical. I don't know how you say that. But your distressed student-colored shoes face, he threw out his arms to physically get the emotions across. Doesn't it feel like cheating to beat him when you already know what he's going to do? Me and Darren can almost never play paper when he's in a game. The kid in question merely smiled with a lift of his chin. He saw no reason to explain or defend his devious behavior. Despite basically doing nothing, or maybe because of that, Baxter earned himself a friendly shove from Chew. But this time it was alright, because Baxter needed to be out of the game. This is a battle between me and Darren. Chew finished ribbing Baxter so he could sharpen his focus towards the real threat. It's on now. I'm ready. Two competitors faced one another for a final bout for the real competition. The title, the Snack King, and a whole lot of pocket changes on the line. The audience remained still as they prepared their weapons, and then it began. Rock, paper, scissors. On the word, Darren's fully gloved fingers split into scissors. Oh shit. Chew lost. Chew's partially gloved hand flattened the paper once more. No! The prongs of Darren's scissors instinctively curled inward, but it was too late. No amount of regret could change the fact. Scissors beats paper. We've crowned a new Snack King. Chew managed to blurt out before doubling over with riotous laughter. Hooray! Thank you for the treat, Snack King. Oh my god. It's alright, Darren. You tried your best. The Snack King didn't say a word, though. The sting in the face got a little less spiky. Baxter patted Darren's back in support. He had offered to pay for the snacks at the very beginning, and Darren could have used Baxter's strategy against him, but Darren never took the easy way. His victory was an honorable one. Okay, I'll buy the snacks. Yeah, you will. Let's pick them out already. Sure, come on. With a surprisingly not cocky smile, Baxter stretched his arm all the way around Darren's shoulders. The pair of the older boys walked ahead. Chew didn't follow. He waited for his friends to be a good few rows down before twisting around towards you and Tamarack. Psst. He whispered through his teeth, beckoning you closer, all the while glancing over his shoulder to keep watch. Tamarack took a hop forward and then looked back and forth. When the coast seemed clear, she leaned in to hear whatever message she was going to deliver. You joined in the huddle. There was no way you'd miss out on a mysterious invitation. I've got another secret for you. Darren doesn't like to play the same thing twice in a row, and he doesn't usually go for Baxter's move either. So most of the time after a round with Baxter and his rock, Darren ends up going for scissors. I could have let him off the hook too, but I thought it'd be nice for Darren to treat the new kids in town for a change, even if he's only doing it because he's a Snack King. Make sure to eat a lot of our stuff. Chew, he didn't need to go through that much trouble. It wasn't his job to make sure Darren got along with people. He should do it more thanks for his own sake. Tamarack swished her hands over her mouth. You could still hear the thrilled squeal she made. Her excitement didn't go to Chew's head. That was nothing, apparently. He shrugged up his shoulders while his arms were folded. It's kind of funny. The game doesn't matter a lot because they're both so obvious. Oh well, I make a lot of the decisions for the group anyway. Spoken like a true club leader. You understand more why he kept showing up in front of you with plans out of nowhere. That was his normal life. Hey, we can get the snacks now. I decided it. She offered the suggestion sweetly. Technically, Chew already had that idea a minute ago, but he grinned at the attempt. You both knew Tamarack was not somebody who left plans up to Chew. Those two rarely wanting to do the same thing wasn't always a bad thing, you guessed. That's good with me. Chew strolled off to join Darren and Baxter again. Tamarack stayed hot on the boys' club's heels. She wouldn't be left behind whether she needed to go shopping or not. There was nothing to do except let the boys browse. Eventually, everyone getting something had their choice, and the five of you had gathered at the back of the store. Chew was in high spirits over the conclusion. He picked out a bag with spicy, cheesy, crunchy chips. Baxter chose sour gummies. The Snack King got himself some beef jerky. Darren marched straight to the counter and slapped down a $10 bill. He clawed to his club without turning around. Bring the stuff over. We've got to ring it up before I can buy it. Coming. Wow. Flashing that amount of cash was apparently unbelievable to Tamarack. She watched the exchange happen as though Derek was making food appear out of thin air. Maybe she couldn't have bought something even if she'd wanted to. Darren finished the purchase without any extra fuss. He got a big bag of treats and a little change and gripped both tightly in his hands. The exchange made you think of Mama. You remembered her telling you about Oregon, where it was a sure thing you'd be moving there. She talked about how there was no sales tax. The price on the sticker was the real amount you'd pay most of the time. Your Mama was funny and practical. Then the tax-free sale was done. Remember, Snack King also gets the honor of carrying the goods for us subjects. Darren securely hooked the bag under one arm while stowing his coins in the pocket of his jeans. I know, Baxter. After a pit stop far more eventful than going shopping for snacks sounded like it'd be, the crew of kids left the corner store behind. We're gonna go to the place now. Chew made the announcement as he took the head of the pack. Tamarack was so fluffed up and excited about finally going to the special place, she didn't try to get in front of Chew, or it could have been because she didn't know where he was heading. Special place, special place. The big group surrounding you and the brimming sense of eagerness kept the fall chill away. You continued down Main Street for a few blocks, but soon had to turn down a side road. Whatever that special place was, it took longer to get there than the town and your school. It was beyond Golden Grove. The further you went, the more the forest took control of the land again. People-made structures retreated among vibrant leaves, becoming fewer and fewer in number. Actually, it was a similar-looking path to the one that led you into your own neighborhood. Part of you wondered if all this was a huge prank by Chew and you'd end up right where you started, but most of you was just joking yourself. Oh, it's the diner! Instead of opening into a hidden neighborhood, the road you'd taken came to a sun-bleached parking lot. The only building left in sight was the diner table diner. Oh, that's why it was so familiar to you. You hadn't only been through streets that were similar. You'd gone down that exact way before, but in a car and at night. And now you were there again. On your own 2 feet, you'd gone to the very outskirts of human civilization. The end of that being an old-fashioned and just plain old American food restaurant. In the entire giant lot, you had more fingers on one hand than there were cars parked. All 3 of the vehicles were clustered together in a single section out of the way. Chew took a few more steps forward, splitting off from the group gathered at the edge of the lot. There's a trail a little bit past here. It leads all the way up into the mountains. His words projected loud through the wide open space, and he raised his arms up with the sound. A wall of rustling branches in the distance framed the silhouette of Chew's back. The forest looked impossibly thick that far from town. If you hadn't just been told there was a way through, you would have thought no one could go further. The Red Fox Ridge Trail, that's its name. Me and my mother and our mom and dad go hiking there sometimes. Chew twisted his head over one shoulder, showing the edge of a bright grid. There's biking trails, too, though I'm not allowed to go ride them yet. I've got to be older. He flapped a thumb and the rest of his fingers up and down against each other in a mocking imitation of his parents' past admonishment. It's too dangerous for a kid. What if you crash? What if no one found you? The mountain isn't a joke. Ironically, he was making a joke out of the not a joke warning. Chew's yakety-yak hand puppet shifted into a single-arm shrug. At least we can walk. What was this? Let's go see it. We will. Well, some of it. We can't go up the entire path, and the trail isn't exactly the special thing. Chew's eyes started to wander then. He slowly turned his head to look out across the lot. You know, it's too bad Uncle probably isn't working. He does the late shift. We could have said hi. And maybe gotten more free drinks. Wow, you have an uncle here? The concept was a complete shock to Tamarack. Right, she wasn't there when you met Mr. Yusuf. Chew laughed over it. He's my uncle, and he's my, quote, uncle, the same way your Omi is my, quote, granny. He's not my real uncle. Kids he knows just gets to call him that. Like how your Omi is everybody's granny. Oh. If he was here, we wouldn't have a choice but to say hi. Uncle keeps a close eye on what happens in his turf, and nothing gets past him. He'd have come up by now to talk to us himself. Chew twirled around and faced the four of you properly. He ended the spin by firmly planting his foot on the ground. If attention wasn't entirely on him before, it was then. After gaining an attentive audience, Chew laughed into a dramatic, according to him, tale. One time a few papers from my notebook fell into the parking lot or something. I know that because when I was passing by a different time, Uncle called me over to give them back to me. That never happened. He stated that definitively, insistently, only to immediately lighten up on the guarantee. Except for around Sharky and Tamarack, you two always make them appear out of thin air. Darren and Baxter shared a look out of the corners of their eyes. Chew was too much distracted by his own storytelling to catch it. Darren's mouth tensed, Baxter's quirked up more. You began to wonder if Chew's friends were simply too nice or too nervous to point out how Chew lost papers every other day. Those two must have seen it happen 100 times, and somehow Chew remained certain it was an impossibility. Maybe the other club members returned his notes in secret. Oh well, we don't have time for conversations today anyway. The finish line is right ahead. He threw a rallying fist into the air. You snickered to yourself. Chew didn't know when he dropped things or when he was the one using up all the time talking. That was how the final stretch of your journey commenced. The diner table was left behind, and so was Golden Grove entirely. The road you followed had no sidewalk. There was only a thin, rocky edge that separated tarmac from wilderness. Luckily, it was as devoid of cars as the parking lot had been. The only people passing through was a group of 5 kids. You wandered along until a patch of dirt opened out on one side of the street. There was a tilted sign with a fresh coat of dust declaring that this was the head of Red Fox Ridge Trail, 6.8 miles and 1,455 feet of elevation gain. You spied a narrow path curling through bushes and tree trunks. It soon disappeared past where you could see. The way it unfolded made a streak of pebbles feel playful, like the red fox of the ridge had left it behind only minutes ago and was daring you to chase after its route. Through here. Darren was suddenly in front of your eyes. It was a startling appearance to come after your imaginations. His spiky blonde hair and striking orange sweater was oddly fox-like. The red fox boy screwed up his face in confusion. Darren almost asked what that was about, but he didn't. He kept going. You all did. There was no going back now. Advancing under a canopy dense enough to cover the entire sky, you made your way through the forest. No one spoke during that trip, not Chew to explain anything, not Tamarack to ask when you'd be there. Past the sounds of footsteps and snapping twigs, you could hear the bubbling of water. It became more and more clear until... Oh, it's a little bridge. The woods parted, smoothed away by an old stone bridge as though the earth was wearing a barrette in its leafy hair. A crumbling set of stairs led to a trickling stream below. There was no mistaking it. This was a special thing. Tamarack sucked in a whistling breath and did not let it out. Her cheeks fully puffed out, and she stamped her feet as if she was revving up an engine. And then she was gone. Tamarack shot ahead, leaping from step to step until she was frolicking in the little valley below. Ah, wait for us. Chew shouted after her and then had the thought to move after her as well. He and Darren darted for the way down together, though Chew took a shortcut by jumping off the stairs at the halfway point. Watch your step. Baxter whispered lightly to you. That was not a warning because he was worried. It was Big Kit's test to see if it'd shake your nerves. He danced down the stairwell right after without a care in the world. I can't believe Baxter is in this game. That's insane. But I like how we get to see his childhood and stuff. Because it definitely maybe... I wouldn't say character development by the time we meet him in the other game, but I don't know. It's just kind of interesting to see how like he is as a like what isn't he like 14 or something in this? That didn't change anything for you, honestly. You barreled forward as quick as anyone, and you reached the bottom totally fine. And what we're in 5th grade, I think. Hey, Darren, you can leave the bag near the stairs. We'll eat them later. Chew took huge strides down the slight hill, holding out his arms for balance. He joined up with Tamarack, who'd crouched by the water. Are there fish in there or frogs? Oh, wait, go back. Wait, go back. Oh, that's not what I meant. Alright. Screenshot. Alright, that's gonna be the thumbnail. Period. I love these two. We're gonna have, oh my god. I can't wait until this is not a demo anymore. If there were any, her and her yelling stomping would have scared them to the other side of the state. Maybe. I think I saw something moving in there before, but it's a great place, huh? Tamarack's rosy face went blank for a blink. Was it a great place? All the anticipation that had built up, all the joy from the incredible realization of the answer burst forth in a grand cheer. Yes, it's a special thing. My cat's on my door. Hold on, let me let him in. Cheeto. Oh my god, and then you're gonna walk away, whatever. Alright, sorry y'all. What's on this? No. I never want to go home. Me either. You and Tamarack basked in a shared excitement no one but you and her could feel. It wasn't new to anyone else. It wasn't that important to other people. But the joy over it could be doubled because you had each other. And then she sprung onto her rain boot clad feet again. There was more yet to see. Climbing over mossy stones and looking under them too, the group spread out to explore. The air there cooled you through. You could feel its chill against the roof of your mouth and teeth with every breath, like the aftermath of eating a mint. Oh my god. It wasn't only the autumn season, the wind rushing across the valley, though those were two parts of why. Being so close to water added a third layer to the unique type of cold you experience at this special place. It really was a land set apart from everything else. While clambering about, Tamarack imagined a fairy tale about a mysterious creature that lived under the bridge. She had never set foot there before until that day, but was certain she was an expert on its hidden history. That was exactly like her. Eventually, Tamarack made a different kind of explanation to the crowd. I'm gonna cross the bridge now. She had already begun inching that way. Yeah, check it out. I'll think about what to do while we're here. We could play a game or something. Oh god. Chew, Baxter, and Darren stood as the unified front on that come up with a plan, despite Chew doing all the talking. Okay, I'll come back later. See... Oh. That was fine for her. You wanted to stick by Chew. The boys waved her off on the short trip. Tamarack skipped up the stairs by herself. Then they turned to one another and you again. Hey, want to cross the stream? There's a really easy way to do it. One part is so thin you can step over. You can see the other side of the valley. Sure, yeah. Alright, guys, I'll go. Sure. So the four of you made a trek across the water. Chew found a couple things to say while he stretched over the divide. It's kind of funny. Tamarack is crossing from up there and we're doing it from down here. One after another, kids transferred from the larger section of the valley to the smaller side. When everyone was settled on solid ground, Baxter was the first to speak. Here we are. Now what? Now. Chew boldly faced the questioning words of his club. We go back to thinking about what we're gonna do, except on this side of the stream. Oh my god. Truth or dare. Come on. That's iconic. Little progress had been made by the team. Silent brainstorming continued. All three boys put a hand to their chin, but funnily it was in a different pose for each one. Darren squished the side of his chin into the top of a fist. Baxter pressed 3 fingers into the front of his face, of course, because he is classy like that, and Chew cradled his chin with a thumb and pointer finger. Before any of their serious thinking could lead to a plan of action, a shout echoed from above. Tamarack, Mishka, and boys. Their hands fell to their sides as the boys' club craned their necks to look towards the sound. Tamarack had stuck her head over the edge of the bridge, and that wasn't all. She held a closed fist above your heads. Between her bags was a baggie of something. It was too far to tell exactly what. It was bumpy and lumpy and she shook it about. Tamarack had a challenge. If I throw these cashews from up here, do you think you could catch them? She was going to drop cashews off the bridge. Every eye and mouth in her audience popped open and wide in surprise. Then the valley erupted around you. The boys reached their hands to the sky, shouting in unison. Yeah! He laughed at their silly reaction. It was like seeing baby birds in a nest when their mom dangled dinner overhead. Chew punched his left hand into his right palm, raring to go. This is gonna be good. Absolutely. I'm gonna catch a bunch. That's the spirit. Tamarack, we're gonna move to the bigger side. Chew called out before leading the charge back over the small brook. Okay. Then Tamarack's face disappeared behind the railing. She was preparing her arsenal. The leader of this new game selected one single cashew off the top. She stretched out over the drop again, and 2 fingers Tamarack daintily dangled the first prize. Paper airplanes and now cashews. Tamarack certainly liked throwing things at people. Ready? Another unanimous clamor rose from the boys' club. Ready? With a flick of her wrist and no final warning, the nut sailed through the air. Players scrambled to be wherever the cashew was going to land. You elbowed your way through the group, aiming right for the front. It went straight down, bounced against a stone, and rolled away, never to be seen again. No one got close. The gang's desperate fever fizzled. Awkward glances were sent about the field. That was just a test one. Chew's excuses amused the other kids, getting slight smiles to spread, but there was truth in it. The players had a much better idea of the landing zone. Maybe next time or the time after, somebody would get something. Yep, here we go. Someone as enthusiastic as her wouldn't stick to that pace. It was only the starting shot, after all. She shoveled cashews into both her palms, then shimmied her arms back and forth above her heads. Oh my god. The nuts jiggled from her hold without pause, at least until she had to reload. The game was on. The frenzy reached new heights as everyone went in dizzying circles, stumbling over uneven ground and leaping for the goldenish colored metals. Baxter took the simplest method of catching stuff. He used his hands to snatch at the falling snacks. Chew and Darren bent their necks to face towards the sky. They attempted to sink a nut directly into their open mouths. Okay. Wait, where is info? No. I need preferences. Music. Just turn it down a little bit. Because I feel like I'm talking over myself. You've been way righter than you thought when you picture them as chicks hoping for food before. You aimed to get it in your mouth too. That was the true challenge. It made your neck sore, but it was worth it. She might have been one girl, but the waves of cashews Tamarack sent down were more than enough to keep the boys' club on their combined 40 toes. In the heat of the battle, you were shaken by a sudden loud crash. Chew and Darren slammed directly into each other. The impact brought both toppling over directly into Baxter. Oh. Keeping his eyes ahead didn't save him. Baxter went down with them. The trio landed in a heap as helplessly as the cashews no one caught. Ack. Oof. Two boys rolled on their backs in the grass, holding their poor faces. The third was flat out on his stomach, blinking in surprise. Oh no, wait, oh, there's 2 pages. Chew! You burst into giggles. Wait, no! Should we do this? Should we? Okay, fine, just do that. Just do it. You called his name before you even realized you were doing it. What if he wasn't okay? Oh god. Oh god, what is this? You crouch in front of the 3-boy pile. Preston's that clutch your breath probably tickled Chew's cheeks. What? He opened one eye to see you hovering over him. Even with his mouth mostly covered, you got the feeling he was smiling. What's up, Sharky? Oh wait, it's you. He was feeling fine enough to say stupid things at least. Everything was normal there. Oh my god, bro. Damn, I cupped her hands together, stopping any more cashews from falling. Are your heads okay? From youngest to oldest, the group started climbing to their feet again. You moved away to give them space. The last thing anyone needed was for somebody to knock into you by mistake. They brushed off leaves and grass and a couple cashew pieces sticking to their clothes. Baxter helpfully plucked debris off his buddy's backside so they couldn't reach. Chew inhaled deeply, tilted far enough back to drop his hood onto his shoulders, and respond to the concern loud enough for all to hear. I'm good. Nobody's bleeding, that's something. Yeah, it's cool. That was mostly funny, but what about you guys? Still feeling alright? I'm fine. Baxter answered with total calm, slipping his hands into his pockets. Jared huffed as he twisted his puffy vest to lay right again. My butt hurts, but I'm good too. His friend laughed over the additional bit of info Darren decided to share. The two shot off a thumbs up to Tamarack to let her know things were a-okay. That was a relief. You didn't think you'd ever be happier to hear him laugh something off. It showed clear on your face, enough for Chew to try making you feel better. Don't worry, Sharky. It'll take way more than that to bring me down. Okay, you know what? I've just gotten used to the nickname. Sure, my Star Stable username is now her nickname, so I don't know if we can ever change it. I'll probably change it to like Mishi or something, or I don't know. No one mentioned how the collision had literally brought him down. It was better left unsaid. And so the event resumed more carefully this time. Baxter caught another nut, then a good few more after. His palm gradually filled with cashew chunks, which was not easy to pull off. But then the unbelievable happened. One of the nuts dropped directly into Darren's gaping mouth. Oh. Darren was so surprised something hit his tongue that he coughed and spat the cashew out. That didn't diminish the glory of the feat. In fact, it only proved for sure that he'd done it. All eyes were on Darren again, though for entirely different reasons than a minute ago. Baxter and True crowded around the champ, slapping his shoulders and ruffling his hair. That was technically a competition against each other, but if one of them was triumphant, it was a victory for the entire club. Darren grinned at the attention, breathing hard from exertion. His cheeks in the spot where Chew's face had snacked into his chin were all red. Still, the Tamarack didn't declare it over. The bag wasn't empty yet. This would be the last hurrah. Your face had failed to secure a nut the entire time so far. Still, your efforts continued. And finally, a cashew... Finally, a cashew sank right into your mouth. A roasted, buttery tasting explosion collided with your tongue. Your boys' club stopped in their tracks. Huh, you're good. Darren had frozen with the rest of the trio, though swiftly pretended he hadn't even noticed. Their restrained reaction were followed by Chew loudly showering you with praise. You really did it. Way to show them what our cul-de-sac can do. Tamarack clapped her hands from on high, showering you literally. It looked like fairy dust was drifting down, but it was the salt coating her fingers. Woo! It happened down to the wire, but you pulled out a miracle. Of course, you always knew you would. It was only the rest of them who were surprised. Yes, I caught one. You cheered too loudly and almost choked in your hard-earned cashew. Then another nut fell down from the sky. Tamarack snickered on her perch. It was a surprise attack. The group sprang into action, though not for much longer. Soon a shout ran out that stamped out the excitement quicker than when the first nut hit the ground. That's all the cashews. Aw, it's over. Chew bent forward like a sagging bag of nuts. His head hung low and his arms dangled down in front of him. It couldn't have been a more exaggerated show of disappointment. This had to stop sometime. Your focus had been on Chew's dramatics over the game ending. When you noticed Baxter again, you were stunned. Magically, his hair was smooth again. His pose was primly relaxed. Baxter had returned to his usual nonchalant status faster than the eye could see. It was as if he was never running around a valley trying to catch cashews, or that at one point he'd fallen flat on the ground. We had a lot of chances. Those were specifically chosen words. Baxter followed them up by beginning to munch on the pile of cashews he gathered throughout the game. An awfully subtle brag it was. His coy smirk with each bite gave the intention away. You remembered how Chew had described him, devious. With amused disbelief at such gout, Chew shook his head. I'm gonna go eat stuff our great snack king brought. You guys have been eating things. Chew directed his quip at Baxter despite lumping Darren into it. The other guy in the equation still had something to say. Darren smooshed the back of his fuzzy glove around his mouth to wipe off the crumbs lingering there. I didn't eat it. I just caught it. Oh wow, thanks for reminding everybody, Darren. Chew poked his buddy's arms accusingly. That's close enough. Not for eating anything, but I guess if you mean we had cashews and you didn't, yeah, it is. Dang. Chew wasn't catching a single break, which made sense since he didn't catch anything else. He was mature enough to let the teasing become water under a bridge. He moved on, calling to Tamarack. Hey, meet us at the stairs. Chew stuck one arm towards the spot. He used his other hand to cup his mouth. We're gonna eat the other snacks. Coming. News of a new activity made Tamarack bounce in celebration. She was energized for the next bit of fun, though she didn't do any of the tiring work during the game. Before you walked slowly to the steps, most of the players were out of breath. Cashews crunched under your shoes. Then Chew scooped up the corner store bag with the goods. Carrying snacks was supposed to be the king's job. That didn't really matter anymore. With treats at the ready, the entire group regathered on the steps that nuzzled into the hillside of the valley. 3 kids settled down, the shortest one at the highest point, going up in size and down a level from there. Tamarack had come from the top, so she didn't go too far towards the ground. Chew took the lead for his club and sat on the step directly under her. Darren was on the spot behind Chew. Baxter, however, only leaned his shoulder against the cobblestone wall. Oh, you already know who we're going to sit next to. Chew eagerly let you join him on the mossy slab. You couldn't sit together at school, but no one could stop you from doing it right there. Your seat was a little damp and a whole lot hard, but it was great to finally not be on your feet. You'd walked through the whole town, explored the special place, and were running during the entire cashews off the bridge game. Chew casually hung his legs over the side of the stairs. Darren pulled a knee up near his chest, while the other leg was resting across the step. Tamarack planted her feet onto your and Chew's spot. She bounced both of you playfully with her boots. I gotta say, Chew pointed a finger in the air, calling the latest meeting of his club. Even though Tamarack still wasn't a member. You had a really good idea there, Tamarack. Smiling sweetly with her hands in her lap, Tamarack sincerely appreciated the praise. Thanks, Chew. Aww. However, Mr. Chu-Lin might have initiated the discussion, but Tamarack brought it down to business. Who's the winner? We're all winners. Aww. I love this. I love the friendship between the 3. Between our character and these 2. It's just so sweet. It's... really, you don't see this at all. He offered the idea optimistically, or maybe hopefully was a better word. In the end, she was the only one who never managed to get anything. No. Whose hopes were flatly denied. His face. Littering the forest and soft-hearted ideas of not choosing a single winner were 2 things Tamarack couldn't stand by. Somebody has to win, but what counts as winning? Oh, that's a tough call. Baxter had the most, but Sharky and Darren did something pretty crazy. It should count for more than 1 catch for them. I think we're all winners. It's your game, Tamarack. Make up a point system. She crossed her arms and squeezed her knees together, showing the serious effort she was putting into thinking. Tamarack sat like a round nut waiting to be cracked, and what broke through was a devious smile. Baxter wasn't the only one who had that skill. If you caught it with your mouth, that's more points than catching a lot with your hands. But it doesn't count if you spit it out. So we won. Darren's spine went rigidly straight in an instant. Before scrunching down more than ever, he croaked defeatedly. This has gotten him more ruffled than when he had hacked up the cashew. Mishka is the only winner. Period. Women. Oh my god, what did I used to say? Women power, or I don't even know. I used to say something stupid about women. I forgot how I said it. Superiority of women, or I don't know. But the girls win. Darren's fuzzy black gloves were balled into harmless-looking fists. He must have wanted to argue that his efforts should count for something. but he was unable to put those words together right to a girl's face. That had to be exactly why Tamarack made the rules unfair against him. Baxter chuckled under his breath. The decision ruined his chances too. The many nuts he caught amounted to nothing. Clever. Though Baxter acted as if he didn't care a tiny cashew crumb if he won, or lost based on Tamarack's made-up rules that she had decided on after the game was already over. Congrats to Sharky. Tamarack literally sang your praises. Mishka wins, Mishka wins, Mishka wins. It ruled, and you won. Then there was no way Baxter would take that from you. Darren continued to pout in the nook the whole while. Thankfully for him, he had a pal who never let things stay sad for long. At least we can all agree on who got last. Me. Chu shifted from angling for a no-win situation to confidently accepting his status at the bottom rung. That plan succeeded where his nut-catching strategies failed. It made Darren faintly smile. Chu gave a wink, not stopping there. You other guys are taller. That gave you the edge, don't forget. What about me? I'm basically the same size as you. Chu swapped tactics again without missing a beat. Those two are way older. Excuses. Or maybe you are just so good it's unfair to the rest of the world. Did you think of that one? There were laughter and light-hearted smiles up and down and along the steps. It was just one of those days where everything was funnier than it was frustrating no matter what. Okay, Snack King, enjoy your spoils. Snack King gets to pick first. There were many unknown rules and regulations for the status of Snack King. You were learning a lot. Chu loudly stretched open the handles of the bag, holding its delicacies out for Darren. He took his beef jerky. That was the last thing needed to make him fully content again. Pass me the gummies. Baxter got his treat as requested, and then Chu moved on to you. Sharky? But I didn't get anything, so take what's there. I want the spicy chips. Duh, that's the good stuff. I want some too. The chips filled up your hand and Chu's with some still left over. Chu stuffed the corner store bag into a crevice of his step before he ate. You tossed a few pieces into your mouth and immediately felt rewarded for your choices. It was great. The group who had planned the food detour easily settled into a snack-sharing semicircle. Baxter had bent over the stairs to be closer to the one sitting down. No boy was empty-handed, and none of them were limited to just the treat they chose. Chu's and Darren's gloves got completely coated in powdery snack bits in record time. It was then that Tamarack rejoined the conversation. She'd been quietly stifling through her fully stocked messenger bag while Chu had been dividing up treats. Here's what I got. And what she got was a yellow rectangle the size of a large chocolate bar, though that wasn't chocolate. The brightly colored block made Chu giggle. We're lucky you didn't chuck that big thing at us. Are you sure? It would have been easy to catch. I'm sure. I'm not alright with not catching anything. Darren couldn't help interrupting them back and forth with dubious curiosity. What is it? Fake cookies. You've never had such a cookie in your life. Tamarack tore open the wrapper with gusto. Then she slid out a light tan couch cushion looking cookie. It was flat on the top and bottom with a dark brown filling in the center. Wow, I want to try that. Here, take a piece. Tamarack pinched the top and pressed it down. The cookie was a soft kind, more like a snack cake. It smushed and bent till a chunk separated without a snap. Then she placed it in your waiting palm. Chu looked up at the latest exchange of goods. He scratched his cheek. Could I try it too? Aw, sure. Thank you. Tamarack passed a small section of the spongy cookie on down to Chu. I try a fig cookie. Another simple request came in before she finished pulling her fingers away from Chu. Tamarack took a second to yank off a corner, stuff it into her mouth before nodding. She whittled the cookie away even more to share with Baxter. He tossed it in his mouth just like that. Only a 1-inch square was left of the bar then. Her snack almost got finished faster than any other. You take it. She hadn't said his name, but her eyes were set directly on Darren 2 steps lower. He didn't react. Apparently, if you didn't address something, it wasn't there. Or he might not have realized she was even talking to him. Darren had changed his sitting position to take on the appearance of a folded chair. Not only were both his legs pulled up, but his arms were over his knees and his face was lowered down into them. Chew gave the back of Darren's blonde head a nudge. Anybody home? Without a word, Darren tilted his neck like he had during the game. Tamarack was already leaning over to dangle the last bit of cookie above his face. He carefully reached out and plucked the gift from Tamarack's hold as if he was picking a real fig off a branch. It made sense in a way. Tamarack's name was a type of tree. Thanks. Darren curled his fingers close around his new cookie. He kept staring upwards at Tamarack. That had to be the record for the longest time he'd held eye contact with her. You can have a piece of jerky, everybody can. Thank you, but I don't want that. Oh. Before that could get real awkward, Tamarack's attention sparked on a different idea. It worked out for Darren, though she hadn't done it to smooth her bluntness over. Tamarack would like that. She had a lot of energy. I have something else, too. And the something else was the bare baggie of cashew dust taken from her overalls. Seeing her bring that out now was more confusing than when she first held it over the bridge. Tamarack snickered at the loss she'd left the group at in her own secret scheming. She poured the scraps into her hand and returned the now completely empty bag into the pocket it came from. Tamarack shot one of the tiny pieces right at Chew. Chew's defensive instincts kicked in and he snatched it before it could hit his face. What was that about? You got one, a cashew that I threw. Chew gave a loop-sided smile and ate the little piece. Guess I did, thanks. You went back to eating the food you got from Chew. The conversation took a turn when Chew chirped up with a question. So, what do you think? Of what? What else? He gave Tamarack a slick smile. Her attention was he'd been trying to grab. The club. Oh. And she didn't say anything else. That was okay. Chew continued on himself. You're glad you're joined now, aren't you, Sharky? It's terrible, don't do it. Chew was amused, though not deterred. It went without saying that his club was the best. Tamarack, forget what Sharky said. Forget that I asked Sharky anything. Just answer the question how you would have before that happened. You can still join if you wanna. Tamarack thought longer about the question than she had the first time Chew invited her. She gave it real consideration, but the answer wasn't different. No thanks. At least mostly. There had been development over the afternoon you'd experienced. Tamarack was quick to add it in. I still like you, Chew, and I still like... I like playing with Baxter and Darren. Really? Thanks. You do? Aw, does Darren like Tamarack? Chew's left and right-handed boys were amazed. Baxter in amused disbelief, and Darren in that he didn't have a single clue what to do. It was kind of the same for you, like Baxter now. Wait. Yeah. Chew became a calming force on the little crowd, a steady rock against the winds of emotion, which was not usual for him. You know, that's cool. I think it makes sense for you. It's the Tamarack way. That was of that for the end of the day, and maybe forever. Chew managed to be at peace, not having everybody he knew in his official club. So you were partially a club, and completely a group of friends hanging out at the bridge. Chew took a turn trying to toss cheesy chips into Tamarack's mouth. She squealed every time she missed and whooped whenever she didn't. Baxter rested along the wall, watching the game with semi-interest. He batted away shots that had misfired or bounced off Tamarack. Darren nibbled on the last of Baxter's sour gummies. He was keeping score while Chew and Tamarack kept their heads fully in the game. It was kind of like a picnic, except there was no blanket or basket, and it was a lot colder than what you'd usually imagine for a picnic. Thanks for showing me this place, Chew. Yeah, thanks for showing me the... Wait, oh no, I want to thank them both. Yeah, thanks for showing me the special thing. You're welcome. Thanks for coming. You're welcome more. Can we ever do stuff at the same amount? No. Tamarack cheered and there'd be no compromising on that. Fine. Those two definitely did disagree on a lot of things, but it was equally certain that they were friends in their own silly way. Aww, and they were your friends too. Actually, the whole group got along if you thought about it. That was pretty incredible. I want to take a screenshot of this. They look... Oh my god! Okay. Darren and Baxter probably wouldn't say you and Tamarack were their friends, but that didn't mean you weren't. That day across the town into the treasure chest store up a mountain across the bridge could only be described as an adventure, though it was the kids you went with who made it a memory to hold on to. Oh my god! That's it! Oh. Wow, okay. I really like that. And now, what is all this? What is all this? Oh my gosh, we can... Here, let's do this. Oh, we can customize this? Let's do that. No, can you move? You're mean. Oh, we can move it? Oh, yes. There we go. Cute. Let's add that. Let's add this. And that. And that. And this. And that. And that. And that. There's nothing over here. It's so sad. No. Hold on. Let's put this in the middle. I wanna customize this. This is cool. I love this game so much. Like it's so like it's very relaxing. I will say that. It's very relaxing. Alright. Alright, this moment's done. Now we're moving on to step 2 preview. Are you sure? This demo includes a preview of step 2. Parts of the preview will be arranged differently in the final game. Oh, okay. Saves you make during the step 2 preview will not be loadable in the final version of the game. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes. Okay. Oh my god. We get to see step 2. Okay. Oh, can we change our face? Okay, this is how we look for step 2. We're gonna... Oh, this is some big eyes. Oh, that's kind of cute. I like that. She look cutie. Oh. Wait. Can I get rid of the stuff first? Yeah, let's get rid of this. Oh, look at her hair. She's so cute. Let's get rid of that. Oh, her little earrings. Oh my god, I really like how she looks with her hair like that, all curled, and then her hair is like that in the front. That's so cute. Oh, wait, maybe we can change her hair. Maybe she got some pink hair. Ah! Alright. No, we're gonna leave it. That's what we had for... God. Here, let's do the back first. Oh wait, can we not do the back? What do you mean flip? Oh, okay, I see. We could do a braid, we could do a ponytail, we could do that, we can do this. Cute. I like that. Some little pigtails. I want to try this. Or maybe a bun. Ooh, pretty. Wait, I need to go up here. No. No. Well, you can't even see it, though. Oh, that's cute. No, I don't like that being in the way. Dang. Maybe that? I don't know. Actually, let's change the hair. That. And don't worry, guys. Well, once the final game comes out, I'm There should be a lot. Oh, that's cute. I like that. Okay, there should be, a lot more. Or maybe this is it. I feel like they would maybe add more, though. Because this is just the demo. Like, they're probably gonna add more. So, you know what? I don't like the front. I need to stop being picky. I kind of like what I had before, like with this, and then, yeah, I kind of like this. Why is she so pale? I'm looking at her now and she's so pale. Oh God, okay. Now we gotta do under layer. We can do a little school uniform, sure. Oh, that's cute. What about white? No. Or is that even white? That's like kind of like a beige. Oh, the pink's cute. I like this though. Alright, get out of this. No. Oh, saturation? Lightness? Hue? No. Leave that. Overlayers. Put a little scarf, but I want it to be that's not bad. How about lightness? Hue? No. That's not that's actually, oh my gosh, she looks so cute. Oh my god. She's growing up. How about a bow? Or maybe a hat now? That's not bad. That's not bad at all. What about this? No. Oh, flower crown. Cute. Little ribbon. Wait, what does this look like? Oh, you just can't see the headband. No, that looks better. This can be... I like that. Cool. Or maybe red? That? Here, let's just leave it. That looks good. Glasses. Do you think she got some glasses? No. Earrings. Well, you can't even see these other ones. I like the hoops. Can we change the color? Bring the... Actually, you know what? That looks fine. Yeah, that looks fine. We can have a piercing? Should we? I don't even know. You can even see her nose, though. That's the thing. Like... You know what? Fine. Actually, does that look ugly? I feel like that doesn't, and maybe that doesn't. It's not bad. That... No. It looks like stuff's like drooling out of her nose. Okay, you know what? I feel like we're not gonna give her a nose ring. Other earrings? No. Bandages? No. Extras? Scars? Do we have any of these? Vertigo, I can't say that. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. I think I did. Maybe we should grow a mole. Like Baxter. Alright, no. Other, what's in here? Oh, freckles, okay. And acne and all that. Alright, well, this is... Take a picture. Oh no, that's fine. So this is our character for step 2. So, she cute. I'm probably gonna use this look later when the actual game comes out, and we'll do it then. So yeah. First name. Oh, but we can change the nickname. Okay, it's nice to know Mishi. That's her new nickname. Use nickname? Yes. We're gonna be short. We're small. So yeah. Average, short. Okay, sure. We're short. She, her, female. Yes, that looks fine. Feminine, miss. That's fine. Oh, this is how our mom looks. What title do you want to use for your parent mom? This is how our mom looks for step 2. Choose a sticker. Oh, they have so much more stickers now. Choose a crystal. Yeah, they're crystal. Welcome back to the tutorial. The childhood portion of the Our Life Now and Forever demo has come to its end. You're heading to the grand land of teenhood. Before that happens, we need to note that the section of Step 2 included in this build isn't nearly as complete as the prior Step 1 scenes. What has been included was picked to give a general idea of the lead characters and status of life in Step 2, but it's not how this time period will start in the finished game. It skips ahead a bit to avoid spoiling certain elements and to get to the casual, everyday conversation with Chu and Tamarack sooner. The scenes that are in this preview are also going to be expanded later in development. In some parts, we'll be taking out of these scenes and add to other events in the Step 2 prologue, so it flows more naturally. We had to include a lot to set up in a limited section. We hope you enjoy this brief glimpse into growing up in Golden Grove. Oh, Step 2! Alright. Fall settled over Golden Grove once again. The storybook-esque depiction of autumn went to the very root of the forest in the heart of the town, as the whole land glistened in its namesake color. It had been nearly 4 years to the day since you moved there. Oh my god. So Step 2 is 4 heads into the future. Into the tan house with a white picket fence at the center of the cul-de-sac. The trees grew in taller and thicker. Mom got a chair for the porch, and the mailbox had to be replaced after an incident. But other than that, not much had changed with the outside of your home. One might have said the building was worse for wear after nearly 1,500 extra days of weathering the elements. For how old it already was when you got there, that was nothing. Nothing for a house pushing 40 anyway. 4 years of your life was closing in on a third of your existence. In that first third, you could scarcely remember since you were a baby and then a toddler for the most of it. So it worked out that nearly half of your memories you'd made and kept were from right here in this house, in this neighborhood, in this town. You lived in this one place longer than anywhere. Oh my god. And you absolutely loved it. This was the perfect area to be in. No complaints, no changes needed. Golden Grove just needed to keep doing what it was doing and life would be swell. You'd realize that even at 10 years old, that feeling... Okay, so now we're 14. Okay. Yeah. You'd realize that even at 10 years old, that feeling had settled over you like a comfy blanket. Since the first fall, this place was home. So we're freshmen in high school, or we're in 8th grade, or we're going into high school. Wow, that's crazy. You've been down each path and road, seen every bush and tree, entered all the publicly accessible, and even some not technically public buildings hundreds of times. There was something indescribably precious about that. It couldn't be replicated. Though that didn't mean the world was static. There were ships that rippled out and impacted your experience, but each one felt natural. The transition of seasons brought about an entirely different atmosphere. There were sights and sounds and feelings that could only happen during a few months before they were gone for the year. Other familiarities were lost, time for good, never to come back, but instead for their absence to eventually become old in their own right. You knew that acorns were beginning to fall along with the leaves, and that Bob's Barber shop on Main Street closed 8 months ago, and that every day there was a new rumor on what was going to replace it. Nothing concrete had been announced yet, but any day now for sure. Mrs. 𝐕𝐢𝐬𝐿 was stubbornly convinced it'd be a restaurant, an Italian restaurant. The town needed one of those, she would insist. Yeah, that was less about what she thought would actually happen and more about what she wished would come to be. Circumstances was never as perfectly straightforward as stuff that was the same and things that were different, or what you could be certain of and what you were believing in. You could have had a piece of You could have a piece of your world that had been ever present, something that hadn't gone away for a moment, yet right before your eyes it could stop being what you'd originally known. The example that came to your mind that you had been imagining from the beginning was your left and right next door neighbors. Both Chu and Tamarack were the same people you'd basically seen every day for 4 years. No single one of those days did you decide they weren't really Tamarack or Chu anymore. Of course, they were always literally who they were. But after everything they learned and seen, and from the basic concept of getting older, the two were pulled into certain directions. Little by little, it couldn't be caught looking back a week or a month. Still, if you pause to remember that from your first meetings and compare that to who you expected to encounter that day, you could see it clearly, starkly. They had changed. First, the companion of your youth, Mix Chu Lin. They didn't introduce themselves like that to people anymore. Whether a person could spell their name or not wasn't their problem. If someone didn't know that, then they didn't know Chu, and why should they care what a stranger believed about them? The only parts of themselves they made sure to spell out were their pronouns, they, them. Chu was born and raised in Golden Grove, a local through and through. And not merely any kid in town, they were the one to take center stage, the one to reach out, all that made themselves ever present in the minds and hearts of the community. No matter what Chu said or did, each person they crossed paths with would be as familiar with them as the gender they were assigned at birth. Autumn wasn't sure about what they identified with, but they could say definitely wasn't that. If they wanted to be free of that misconception, Chu had no choice other than to keep explaining again and again, person to person. They hated it. Going around introducing themselves in a way so people who wouldn't immediately get it could still put things together was cute and everything when they were in elementary school. As a 9th grader, it was embarrassing. A lot of what Autumn believed in as a kid just seemed to be just that now, kid stuff. And at the tippity top of their list of childish ideals was the very concept of trying. Chu stopped putting in effort with their classes. They started skipping ballet lessons, and they did not go out of their way to make others feel welcome. Wow, okay. No, they rebuffed nearly anyone who dared wish for timing their presents. If Chu didn't already like someone, 0 opportunities would be given for that opinion to change. Despite going from the most approachable face in town to completely unavailable, she remained exceedingly popular in school. That's interesting. The chill that overtook their demeanor only made them cooler, apparently. So sorry that he's my man, or they're my man, though, sorry. I need to get, Alright, starting from step 2, you can now manually set Chu and Tamarack's dynamic toward you, as well as your own dynamic with each of them. This includes the new available jealousy meter, which will always begin as not jealous, and must be manually changed if you would like to add those aspects to your playthrough. You can also choose one character to be best friends with. Only one person can be your best friend, but you can be platonic best friends or best friends while crushing on one another. Oh, okay. Oh, shit. Being best friends with one character signals you have a closer relation to them than the other character. It doesn't mean you can't be friends with or crushing on the other character, though. You can change best friends over the years or even have no best friend at all. It's up to you. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, well, we're best friends and we're crushing on each other. No, we're crushes. Family beloveds. Oh, wait, let's read this. Okay, beloved, you truly love them and will always keep them in your life in a clearly romantic way. Okay. Jealous over. So, is there, a description on that? Okay, here we go. In the... Okay, so this is new. Expression elements. For envious of, not jealous, and jealous over. Envious of. You're envious of the life, appearance, abilities, relationship, etc. of the other person. Not jealous. You are not envious of or jealous over the other person. Jealous over. You feel discomfort if you think the other person likes someone else more or isn't spending as much time with you. Okay. Okay. Alright. That I kinda wanna do that. I kinda wanna see like I think I want to add that though. I want to add it because I think it would be interesting. I want to see that. I'm trying to look. Teasing. Praising. Do that. Oh wait, no. All right, meter 3. Admiring. Okay. Or doting. Doting, maybe. No. Alright, sorry this is taking forever, y'all. I know y'all want to see this, but I want to... I feel like she changes over the years and is like... She likes to praise people more and stuff. Can I... Oh, I can choose this? Oh. Oh, what did I have before? Oh, no. Oh, no. Admiring. I can't believe we can choose this. Like, can I change? Can I like? You know what? I want to change this to doting. And then I feel like he... It's sad that he changed a lot, so I'm not sure. Well, it just says him to us, so... I'll just keep teamworking the same and I'll leave teasing, but I do like the fact that he would see us as incredible. I feel like he wouldn't be jealous. Yeah, he's not jealous. He is like too laid back for that. No, he's too laid back for that. I feel like me personally, that's just me. We are best friends. Yeah, we're BFFs. Excuse me, game. How dare you take that away from me? Okay. Done. But that drama was nothing new. If Chu didn't want to go above and beyond to be friends with everyone in the world, then they shouldn't have to. They could be snippier. They could be more sarcastic. So what? Chu meant a lot to you. They always had, ever since you were 10. Anna made you feel like you mattered from the start, and that hadn't faded even when they closed themselves off to people more and more. You done what you could to be something beyond a fair weather acquaintance for them, and though definitely not in the way someone might have expected, Chu wasn't merely a neighbor, and they were only a friend. Chu was your best friend. While Autumn closed himself off to people more and more, a genuine bond grew between you and them, until no one else was there for you more than they were. You'd done the same in return. They'd come to mean a lot to you. Chu knew that they could rely on you, that they could trust you. The small circle of their fond familiarities had you at its very center, and you couldn't lie to your own heart. You had a crush on Chu. That's what made them such a meaningful existence in your world. You were head over heels for them. Oh. When they came to Chu themselves, you could never quite tell what their feelings were towards you. That is interesting that you can choose between this. I want to choose both. Chu had never said as much, but you hadn't either. It didn't mean it wasn't true, and it was for you and them. You were positive. Now second, the childhood playmate, Miss 𝐸𝐸. She had become a young lady. Her reckless romps through the woods shifted into quiet nature walks. The neat clothes she carefully selected weren't suited for that kind of exploring anyway, and she was okay with them not getting full of holes like she was as a kid. She approached most things in life with great delicacy, like she was living in a world of glass, or less whimsically, as if she was always walking on eggshells. Tamarack joined the music program during middle school. Okay, so she got into playing cello, a feat that required plenty of patience and a ton of sitting around. But all those new opinions, priorities, and decisions didn't speak to any level of decisiveness on her part. It wasn't just the loss of pure, wild abandon only someone too young to know better could have. Tamarack didn't have a shred of certainty she used to. Some days and some ways she could come across more like her almost 70-year-old grandparents than a girl not even a quarter their age. Then other moments she leaned into typical teenage priorities more than anyone else in her own class, and neither seemed to make her particularly confident. What bits and pieces were truly Tamarack, maybe all of them, maybe none. She hadn't managed to convince most people that there was a clear picture they could accept and understand as her. Probably because she didn't understand herself either, or she couldn't bring herself to commit to what she did know. So 4 years on, she'd yet to blend into the harmony of this close-knit community. If Tamarack was in a room, odds were good she'd be the last acquainted person there. Wherever she went, Miss 𝐕𝐤𝐬 carried herself with the presence of a visitor, never a regular. Aw, I feel bad. Oh, look at Tamarack! She's so grown up. We're friends. Crushes? No. Neighbors? No, we're friends. We're not jealous. Yeah. Towards Tamarack. Praising. Isn't that? Oh my gosh. Alright, I'm not trying to spend too long on this. No. Teasing. Doting. Contesting. Sure. That's fine. But one thing was certain, at least. She could count on you and you could do the same with her. You didn't care what the town thought. Tamarack wasn't a nobody in your eyes. She was a little girl who threw a paper airplane at you the first time she ever caught sight of you. Tamarack and you went through being newcomers side by side. No matter how much the two of you grew up, your promise to be friends remained unbroken. Together, you'd make it through whatever future unknowns you might face. She wasn't your number one closest confidant like she had been when you were little. Of course, you could count her as a friend. She could do the same with you. The world was more complicated than at 10 years old was all. Oh my god, I remember we put her as our best friend. Oh, I'm so sorry. Tamarack. Listen, I still consider her my best friend. What made the differences with your friends was even more noticeable was the fact that you hadn't changed one bit. You were the same rule-breaking, talkative, mellow gal you'd been since you arrived in Golden Grove. Everyone called you Mishi instead of Mishka. But your mom only ever called you Mishka. And Chu called you Mishi sometimes. And Tamarack called you Mishi sometimes. Anyways, that was sinking further into your psyche than you should be going. You decided while shaking yourself out of a daze. How long have I been recording for? Oh my god, I think I've been recording for like an hour. And I already have like 30 minutes of footage. Other like part of this. Oh my god, y'all gonna have a good episode today. You kind of had other things to be focused on at the moment. Okay, we're back in the house. Okay. It was early morning on a school day. You'd finished getting changed in your room and leapt downstairs, passing multiple steps at a time. Then you crossed a creaky board where the lighter floor panels switched to darker wood. You'd officially enter the front room. The place you lived was sort of the third member of the Rose family. It had been its own ways of being in longtime quirks while still taking after the parent and sister it received. In the time you'd lived there, you'd added a few of your own kicks and scratches to the house. Some of the old furniture was replaced with brand new old furniture from the local antique store and thrift shop. You couldn't even try to remember which came from where. As Chu once said, it wasn't like you could tell the difference between what was sold in those places. It was the same either way, ancient. You were alone there in the living room and the entire house. Mom had left for work not long before then, right after you'd eaten breakfast. She had a longer commute than you, and you didn't need your mom to be late in order to see you off to school, though she would have been tardy if you had wanted her there. Thinking of her, you felt looks like page 2. Wow, these options are like insane. So I feel like this determines like later, like if you were to have a bad relationship with her, is there something later that could determine where you won't have a good moment with her? Because that's kind of interesting. Like, I want to make this interesting, like, where things I've done before. Because normally I have a good relationship with a parent. But, I had chosen that she hadn't changed and that she was just, like, rule breaking and all that. And just... Oh, these last parts just make me sad. Like... Let's just say stuff was not great when it came to living with Mom. You disagreed about most things. That old childish attachment you have for your mom completely dissipated. It made sense. Before she held a lot more power in the dynamic. You relied on her for every single part of your existence. That made her pretty special. But it wasn't true anymore. Each day you were more independent than before, and the less things you needed her for things, the less you wanted her for anything. So before Mom walked out the door, she hadn't forgotten to give her a annual reminder. There's only one first day per year. Enjoy it. Oh, wait, are we going to our first day of high school? Oh my god. You scoffed over Mom's typical momness while fully letting out the little fact of reality sink in. Oh my god. We're starting high school. It wasn't a normal day of school. It was the first day. And it wasn't a normal start of a new year either. This was 9th grade. You were a high school freshman. And we're going to join the cheer team. There's one. Mom impressed upon, or maybe gymnastics. I don't know. I do both. Mom impressed upon you what an accomplishment it was. If the learning system was a triathlon, you were out of the water, off a bike, and lining up to begin the race. Triathlon is really hard. Your mom wasn't especially sporty herself, so she offered as an alternative that if this was a movie or book, the third act would be just beginning. That was the best part. For as much as Mom hyped it up, your transition into the highest level of public schools wasn't as immense as it was for other 14-year-olds. You'd been attending Riverview Peak since grade 6 already, with its gold, black, and navy official colors and beloved freshwater otter mascot. The district of Golden Grove was small enough that middle school and high school shared a building. Oh, okay. Heck yeah, that place was a part of Heartwarming. Go Otters. And you decided to walk rather than ride that day. Your wheels of choice were... Wait, what? You decided to walk rather than ride that day. So why are we getting this? Here, do some roller skates. Oh wait, no, let's do the bike. It was not the same bike you came to town with. You'd long outgrown the original. But it was the only kind of ride you wanted to use. So you got another that was right for your size. Your mind wandered as you settled a scarf around your neck. You'd find... Oh, should we go both? No, I want to go Chew. It'd have to be up to you to invite them. Chew might have been waiting for you to ask, but it was your job to find them. That's how it worked. No, we're going to bump into him. Wait. Okay, so we're gonna bump into him. Tamarack sometimes liked to walk by herself, and on those days, it was easier for you to go on your own. It wasn't a requirement that you always went to school together. You had different paces and processes of making the same trip. Still, there were days when circumstances lined up and you'd go together. That was as nice of a gesture as Chew made. They wouldn't invite you to go together themselves. But if things weren't okay between you, Autumn would absolutely make certain circumstances were never in sync. You packed a lunch, closed up your bag, and slung it over one shoulder. Then you went to greet the freezing autumn dawn. And you were instantly slapped by a howling rush of wind that got into the exposed slivers of your skin with what seemed to be the heat-seeking precision. Eck. Sputtering and laughing, you fought to get the door that was shaking from the same gust lock behind you. Mom had honored you with a key on your 12th birthday. When you felt the telltale click, you backed away. All the while, you tugged at your scarf so it stopped strangling you. Your nostrils filled with a distant scent of rain when you crossed over the stone path. Had it come and gone when you were sleeping, or was it still gathering the weight it needed to fall? It was impossible to tell. You pushed open the gate, separating your yard from the neighborhood at large. As soon as you placed a foot into the cul-de-sac, you were hit with a bigger shot to the system than the chilling breeze. Oh! Hi, Tamarack! Tamarack popped up from behind the bushy border of your house like it was suddenly 4 years ago and you were meeting her for the very first time. The main flaw of that comparison was that she hadn't done it on purpose. Mishka? Oh. What is going on? If anyone was going to be startled by that jump scare, it should have been you, but there Tamarack was. Her eyes were wide, her arms to her sides. Though that was definitely Tamarack Beeman, you also knew her by a nickname. Very people got to do that. The nickname was Tammy T. Oh, wait. T. I didn't notice you come out till I heard the gate. It would have been more awkward if you caught me trying to hide in a bush, so I had to, you know. Surprise? Sorry. Oh. Morning, T. Oh, she's so sweet. Oh, I want to walk to school with her. Reacting completely casually to her floundering could have gone two ways, diffusing the awkwardness or making the dynamic going on there even weirder. Tamarack wrinkled her nose at you, seeing the humor in the situation, less awkward it was. You gave her a friendly grin. Of all the good things you got to enjoy living in Golden Grove, she was high on the list. She's so cute! Oh my god. Tamarack Beeman couldn't be described as anything other than a good thing. It went quiet then, for a second too long to be normal. A frog. A frog. There's a frog right there, under the hinge. Her arms remained glued to her torso, but she pointed a finger towards the ground. It's so close to a road. I wanted to make sure it wouldn't die or anything. A lot of frogs have declining populations. Cool, I want to look. Alright, you can. It's your bush and that's not my frog. Aw. She added that with a new brightness to her voice. It rang with a note of challenge. Not needing to be told twice, you ran around to the side of the house and took Tamarack's place in the bush. You got down to the dirt to see the frog up close and personal. Tamarack stayed behind you, but she leaned her face toward the branches, pressing her palms over her legging-clad knees. She could manage taking a second peek. It was there, exactly as promised. Big eyes, wet skin, long legs, a frog. I like it. Yeah, it is pretty cute. That was a nice moment to share with her. You had to thank the frog for bringing you both a bit of joy. Oh. You two gawking giants tested the last of the frog's patience at that point. After one meager croak, the speckled brown creature hopped away. Luckily, it inched towards the forest rather than the street. Tamarack was satisfied that the declining population wouldn't take another hit today. You and her straightened yourselves up after a very successful frog viewing. Tamarack scrambled away, nearly falling over in the process. She couldn't have run faster if she'd been the one under an unknown giant's inspection. Sorry, I was way too close. You straightened yourself, holding her stunned stare. That is not something you have to say sorry for. Oh, okay. What? Oh my gosh, she has changed so much. Wow. A steady exhale left Tamarack's mouth. She grasped at regaining some kind of composure. The even breathing lasted just long enough for her to inhale one more time. Then Tamarack twisted her torso and headed in opposite directions to head her back, switching between glancing over the left side and right in a cycle. She had to double check that she didn't get dirty. Do I look okay? Oh, you look amazing. I know I don't, but thanks. Then Hold on. Wait. Oh, let's give her a hug. You threw yourself around her. You've been waiting for your hello hug. Oh. And instantly, the two of you were thrown together in a tight knot. Tamarack's hold was soft and sweet just like her. She rocked you both back and forth that made you giggle. When it was over, Tamarack was grinning wide. Ever since Tamarack had those braces put on, she almost never smiled with her teeth. You knew how self-conscious she was about them, but the rule went away when it was just safely you and her. Happy first day of school. It was a thoughtful attempt. Tamarack didn't have the acting skills to sell you on the idea that she believed what she was saying, but she knew you actually believed that. I'm gonna die if we don't have any classes together. Me too. We could share funerals instead. UNT ever repair. You shared a wary chuckle before the misery overtook your demeanor once more. Tamarack found a second wind from the doom spiraling. I don't even know my teachers yet. What if we get someone horrible? We riot. Period. You started out so confident, but the more the reality became your reality, the bleaker it seemed. Still, Tamarack was going to be there for the start of a new year. You could count on it. You couldn't help but pause and acknowledge how wonderful it was that Tamarack was still there. Living with Naomi and Opa was meant to be temporary, and it had already been nearly half a decade. Her parents did keep in touch and they visited, sometimes more, sometimes less. The inconsistency meant there was never a sense of normalcy around them, no matter how many months went by. As soon as things were calm enough that you thought Tamarack was going to be a golden girl forever, her parents would become so re-involved it was looking like they'd be packing her bags any day. You lived with a thorn stuck in your chest, one that dug deeper, and with each passing season, no matter what, and every so often got jabbed by the unexpected. Maybe that had something to do with why Tamarack came across like an outsider. People were holding their breath around her, bracing for when it would be a false alarm, for when she'd be gone. And you knew for sure that Tamarack struggled with seeing her own presence in that lake. She told you about it. How much longer would Tamarack be living next door? Oh my god. I feel so bad for this poor girl. Can I go back and make her my best friend? Is that fine? Like, can I do that? I feel so bad. No, you stopped that line of thinking right there. You didn't want to get upset. You still had to go to class. Alright, I've got to get out of here. Oh, bye. See you at school. She waved the curled fingers as you turned away. You cut through the grassy aisle between your house and the Lynns. It was the shortest path for where you need to be. You easily broke into your friend's fenceless backyard. Chu's old hideout stood tall among the trees that backed it. It was creakier than it used to be, and you were more likely to wind up with a splinter by climbing on it, but the fort hadn't been abandoned, though something around had been discarded. Laying carelessly in a pile of leaves underneath the tower, you could spot a black and yellow gym bag. A band-aid was tied in a knot around the strap. And on the top level of the structure laid the bags in her in much as of a heap. Chu was holed away in the child's play place they could barely fit in. From the knee down, their legs hung lifelessly out of the entry hole. Their dark gray jeans and matching colored sneakers made it look as if a sheet of dark rain was pouring over the edge. Some people still call them Autumn, but you had a different nickname for them. It was... I don't know. Oh, wait. You know, maybe we shouldn't do that. Oh, wait. I have a good one. Oh, you have your own nickname for them? Autumn. I'm trying to think of nicknames, because that just makes it more special. Hold on. Nicknames for Autumn. Otto. Mintum. Utz. Audie. Let's just call him Autumn. You'd known them as Chew and Autumn since you'd met 4 years ago. You stare at the motionless lump. Oh god. Wait. Autumn, I know you know I'm down here. Come on, time to leave. No one's home. You didn't like seeing how they shut themselves away from everything. Clearly, Chew needed further convincing. Chew, let's! You lifted yourself. Oh, wait. You lifted yourself into the first rung up the wall. They wiggled their legs at you in a pitiable defense of their tower. Alright, you win. And wow, what a surprise it is. What? Their words carried annoyance and self-derision to them. You both were in fact losers in this endeavor. But Chew was wrong. It was a wonderful victory to earn their company. Except Chew didn't climb now, and jumping also wasn't their choice. They just sort of let their bodies slip forward inch by inch. Realizing what was about to happen, you took a few quick steps back. Chew kept shifting closer to the edge until gravity took over and they plummeted out the doorless entryway. Autumn's feet hit the ground first. There was no attempt to catch the weight of their own body. Their knees bent, their torso curled, and they landed in a ball. A rim of white fox fur hid their downturned face. Their hood was up. Notebook pages fluttered through the air. Chew's method of descent had carelessly dragged the papers down with them. They had already been discarded across the floor of the fort. When each one came to rest on the ground around them, Chew slowly unfurled. In the same motion, they tugged the hood off. They stood with perfect poise, simply to show they could. It reminded you of a video you'd seen once, a time-lapse of a flower going from only a seed to spouting a stem and finally having its petals bloom all in a matter of seconds. Despite their usual flopping around, Chew was still a trained dancer, but you've gotten your first clear look at their face the whole day. Having that aloof expression directed your way was another positive you could point to about the place you lived in. Autumn was your favorite person. They waved their hands vaguely towards the sky, closing their eyes. I am here. Oh, I'm glad I missed you. Can we hug him? Or her? Them? Oh my god. Alright, I'm sorry y'all if I say him because... I'm glad I missed you. In a tone crispier than the breeze, Chew responded, we see each other every day, Mishka. There was a focus in their dark irises. It went far past casually looking in that general direction Chew was staring at you. You've been staring at them too, you suddenly realized. Chew clocked your effort and smiled wide and leisurely. Why am I crying? Why am I crying? This is dumb. Like, oh my god. I just feel so bad for these two. Alright, I'm back. Alright. I want to cry. Oh my god. I feel so bad for Tamarack and Chew. Oh my god. I feel bad. Oh my god. Like, it's just so different. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel... Hold on, let me turn this music up. I can't even hear it. Alright. You stretch your arms nice and big for a hello hug. Chew clucked her offer and smiled wide and leisurely. Slowly they lifted onto their tiptoes and gradually they began leaning forward. Here they went. Then Chew promptly toppled over into your awaiting embrace. Oof. You caught the full weight of the rag dog suddenly in your care, gripping tight around their narrow frame. Chew's arms dangled idly instead of hugging back. Having their entire body pressing into you was more than enough to bring them in close. They rested into your chest and cheek against your shoulder. The both of you were at risk of collapsing into a huge heap any second. Sue and Autumn shrugged themselves off the same way they might have done with their oversized jacket, except you'd been the one wearing them. You looked at Chew wide-eyed and hopeful. Chew fixed you with one of their typical blank scares. Not that it was an accurate depiction of their feelings, you knew better than that. Leaning their way onto one foot, they popped a hip out to the side. It's not like I would have said no. Aw. Wow, Chew had their jokes. Without another word, Chew trudged around the support beams of the floor to fetch their stuff. They didn't so much as glance at the papers their movement kicked about, much less pause to pick them up. A familiar smell of earth tickled your nose when Chew dug their gym bag out from a pile of leaves. The scent of forest expeditions, treasure hunting, hide and seek, nothing related to today's plans. Chew simply slung the pack across her back, then returned to the front, and then the pages were ignored. As a kid, Chew earnestly never noticed when they'd lost something. As a teenager, that had become a selective ignorance. Sorry. Alright, I'll go through that garbage away, you tease. And so you went to the base of the fort. Slowly, and with your back completely turned to Chew, you took each page into your hands. Naturally, in times like those, you thought back to your first meeting with Chew. You'd helped them pick up pages then, too. Only then Chew insisted they never lost things. Yeah, they'd given up trying to sell that one. The pages were returned to their owner. You stood, turned, and stalled. Chew's face was pointed away, looking towards their house. They had their right hand on their hip and the left was lifted. Their palm was open and waiting for you to return their papers into it. You hadn't even said anything yet. In a big showing motion that flipped the ends of their hair, Chew swept their face towards you. They were smiling extremely smugly. However, it couldn't qualify as a true smirk. There was too much earnest affection behind it. Rather than carelessness, it spoke to a level of trust. You were willing to go out of your way for Chew, and they were willing to accept that. It was something you'd come to understand about Chew's life. How much of a difference it made not to be bogged down by reminders you couldn't properly keep a hold on. What could seem like a minor inconvenience to an outsider was a constant struggle for them. It was why you never had and never would stop helping out no matter how many times you had to. Chew took the stack from your hands. Thanks, Mishi. Oh, now you could walk together. Let's get out of here. Chew was not getting their bike then. But they never did like pushing the bike around or even going at a leisurely pace. It wasn't worth it to them with you walking. Then, oh my god. Oh. You quietly held out your hand to Autumn. What other way would you go to school together? You were gonna stand by doing nothing about doing for you. Chew was pretty sullen a lot of the time and didn't like to put in effort basically all the time. It was up to you to reach out for what you wanted, so you would. They accepted the offer with no resistance, as though it was the most natural thing in the world. Chew weakly curled their fingers around yours then. Their hand was freezing. They must have been in their fort in the cold for a long time before you'd gotten there. It was in that together you left the old neighborhood behind. Your first day as a high schooler was waiting on the horizon. Okay, that's the end. Okay. Oh, I really liked that preview. Oh my god. Wow. Much of a character change. That's for sure. Damn. I started crying because of how different they are. Like, I feel like that's just really sad. Like, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I need to look at their Patreon and see if I can get early access to the builds, because I think they're releasing them. Alright. I'll have to see that about that, y'all, because I could probably pay for it, but yeah. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed this. As far as of right now, this is the ending of Our Life Now and Forever. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully, like, maybe I can get on this Patreon and every month we can do the new scenes and stuff, but as of right now, yeah, this is it. If I don't get on the Patreon, it's okay. Hopefully we won't have to wait like half a year again to play with Chu and Tamarack again. I am like shocked about like their character development. Like it has changed. Like it's like total 180. It's insane, and just yeah. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Our Life Now Forever. If you did like it, make sure to hit the subscribe button, like, and comment what you would like to see next. But I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!